What's up guys, Meg Brown here and welcome back to my channel. And in this video we are going to recreate this procedure chocolate in Blender. So like always, let's first delete all these things. Press A to select it and press X to delete. Of course, like always, we need a reference to work with. So let's bring a reference. I found these three pictures in the net to use that as a reference. Then I use the software PureRef to preview it. In these three pictures, as you can see, we have this shape here. Let's first start to make this shape. Press Shift plus A and add a plane. Now scale it down to a value like 0.2. Now scale it on x-axis because now it's looking like a square. Maybe a little bit on y-axis. Now let's go to edit mode by pressing tab. If we look closely our reference, we have this line. So let's make that in Blender. Press Ctrl plus R to add a loop cut. Then scroll your middle mouse button so that we have something like tree line. Let's make the same thing here. Press Ctrl plus R, then scroll the middle mouse button to add a loop cut. Now we have that. So now let's take the edge tool. Now press Alt and left click to select this line. To select the other line, press Alt, then Shift and left click. Do the same here. Now let's add a bevel by pressing Ctrl plus B. Now we have that. Do the same thing with this line. Alt, left click, Shift, Alt, left click. Sorry, let me restart that. Shift, Alt, left click, Shift, Alt, left click, Shift, Alt, left click. Now Ctrl plus B to add a bevel. And now we have that. Now let's select this. Let's first take the face selected tool and select this face. Shift, select, Shift, select. And let's select this other one, Shift, select. Just hold Shift and left click to select it. Now extrude it on Z axis by pressing E and Z. Now press the comma button to change the anchor point. Go to individual origin and now scale it down. So now we have this shape. Maybe let's make it look a little bit better on solid view. Let's go here to object and check shadow and cavity. Now we have this beautiful shape. Let's go back to object mode. Take the edge tool. Hold Alt and left click to select all this line like this. Then press F to fill it. Now extrude it on Z axis. Just a little bit. Now let's go back to solid view. As you can see now, we have this nice shape. Now let's add a bevel, and we have our shape. Let's look our reference. So now we have this shape. There is almost the same. Maybe we should delete this line because here we have 3. So let's delete this line here, right here. Let's go back to edit mode, go to the top view, press Z to go to wireframe view, and select this fits like this, and press X and delete the vertex. So let's go back to object mode, Z, solid view. As you can see now, it is looking like our reference. First, let's apply the scale. To change the default scale setting, press Ctrl+A and apply the scale. Now let's open another split like this. Press T to move this thing and uncheck all these things like this. Now let's go to render view. Let's import our environment texture. The link will be in the description so that you can follow. Open it. Now let's go to film and uncheck transparent so that the environment texture is hidden. Now let's go to shader editor and apply a new material. If we look our reference, we can see that we have this beautiful, nice dark brown color. I don't know if it is brown, but the thing that I know is that it is too dark. So let's try to make that in Blender. Let's go to base color and change it to something like a brown color, and let's dark it. Maybe I should put this X value. If you want to use the same color that I'm using, just type this X code 71280E. As you can see now, we have this beautiful color. Maybe we should go to cycle render engine. Let's go to cycle. Let's press Ctrl+B to select area to render. Now we have this beautiful color. Now let's go back to our reference. If we look closely our reference, you can see that we have this line right here, this line texture. So let's make it. First, let's go to edit, preference, and make sure that a node wrangler is able. Just type node wrangler and make sure that it is able like this so that we can work a little bit faster. First, let's add a wave texture. Press Ctrl+Shift to preview it, and press Ctrl+T to bring up mapping and texture coordinate. Take the object and put it into vector. Let's change the scale to something like, I don't know, 7.8. And let's duplicate it 5 times so that we have this line like this. Now let's duplicate our wave texture by pressing Shift plus D. Now take this vector and put it into vector. Press Ctrl plus Shift and left click to preview it. And change this axis to Y axis so that we have the line to a different axis. Now let's mix these two lines by adding a mix texture. Change it to color and put it right here. Take this wave texture and put it in column B. Now test this one and put it in column A so that we have this beautiful line like this. Now let's select all these nodes and press Ctrl plus D to add a frame. Then press F2 to rename it. I will name it noise line. Now let's take this result and put it into normal. Now let's preview our principal PSTF by pressing Ctrl plus Shift and left click. Now as you can see, we have something right here, but not what we want, because this is a color data and this is normal data. So let's convert it into normal data by adding a bump node. Put it right here and take this result and put it into height. So we have this beautiful nice line texture, but right now it is too strong, so let's decrease it a little bit to something like that, so it is less strong. So let's go back to look our reference. As you can see, if we move closely, you can see that we have a little bit of noise right here. Maybe I can see this other picture. We have a little bit of noise, so let's make this noise. Let's add a Voronoi texture. Now let's take this vector and put it into vector and let's preview it. Change the scale to something like 26 maybe 8, so that we have this little bit of point noise. So let's make it a little bit contrasty by adding a color ramp and bring this value so close, something like this, maybe a little bit more. Maybe we can change it a little bit later. Let's select all that and press Ctrl plus T, then F2 to rename it. We just make it point noise. Let's preview our principal PSD. Now let's duplicate our bump. Shift D to duplicate and place it here. Now let's take this color and put it into height. Now let's go a little bit closely to see what we have. Let's maybe increase that so that you can see this point. As you can see, we have this nice point, but now it's too strong. Let's decrease that a little bit. Let's also take this color and put it into roughness. Now let's add a color ramp to control that a little bit more. Click on this white color and let's dark it just a tad, just a little bit. If you want to use the same color, just type C, 5C, 5C, 5C. As you can see now, we have our chocolate and it is looking very cool. Maybe I want I want to eat that. And this is a final note. Maybe you can take a screenshot. Let's go to solid view and add a plane. Go to edit mode, select this tray, this 2H, and extrude it on Z axis. Now let's add a bevel and create amount and segment, and let's shade smooth it. Now select this chocolate, Shift D to duplicate it on X axis, or Shift D, duplicate it on Y axis, rotate it on Z axis to make it a little bit randomly. Let's add another more, Shift D on Z axis, move it. So this one I will rotate it on Z axis to have a little bit of randomly. GZ, G, Shift Z. So now that we have that, let's go back to shader editor. Let's select this one and duplicate it so that we can change the color. For this one, I will just go with a yellow one. As like our reference right here, but it is not dark, so let's make it bright. Maybe, yes, so bright. If you want to use the same color that I'm using, just type FFEC7F. So now let's also make the same thing to this one. Let's duplicate it and keep the original. If we look our reference, we have this chocolate that's looking very dark. So let's make that. Select this chocolate and duplicate it. Now let's make this color very dark. Excuse me. Let's make this color very dark. If you want to use the same color that I'm using, just type CREA1507. And finally, we have that. Now it's time to render it. Let's first go back to 3D view and add a camera. Shift A. Select number pad 0 to enter into a camera view. Now press Ctrl plus Alt and press number pad 0 to select the view of the camera. Now let's go to camera and change the focal length. Something like that. Let's lock the view of the camera so that we can move that. Select the camera, G to move that. Now let's go to output and locate our file. I will just put it on picture and name it chocolate. Press accept. Now go to render and render image. And that's it, guys. We made it. We finally make our fake chocolate in Blender. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to leave us a like, comment or share. Maybe you can subscribe if you are new. And I think I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.